Hi guys, this is Masa from the Great White North. So today in this video I wanted to review the new spoilers of Tales of Aria. And this video we're gonna focus just on the Guardians card and the Ice cards, so that the video is not too long. It's really I'm really excited by Ice Guardian. I think it's a style of deck that we didn't really have yet. And it could be Alderheim or it could be with the new Ranger. Just like the new spoiler that we got fit more for Alderheim, so let's look into them. Um, so, like I explained in the last video, the key to have an ice deck will be to have enough ice resource card, and we got one more. We had 6 in the last video. I show you Frostfang, Pulse of Isenloft, Amulet of Ice, Winter's Bite, Wyvern Ice, and with Winter's Grasp. With only Winter's Grasp blocking for 3, so I was sad. We do have a new one though called Polar Blast, and it's actually pretty good. Sadly, it's still blocked for 2. We saw a yellow, but I'm assuming there will be a blue. It looks like a cycle. Um, and it have target opposing hero may pay 2 resources. If they don't, your next attack this turn gain dominate, which you don't really care. I mean, I'm assuming a blue would be if they pay 1 resource. But what is cool is that it's if Polar Blast is played from Arsenal, draw a card. So, and it costs 1. And actually you may think, okay, yeah, costing 1, that's kind of bad. I would prefer cost 0. Actually, no, if you play it from your Arsenal, it's the same play as Blessing of Deliverance. You pitch a card, you play it, you draw a card, and then you can pitch again to attack with Anotos, and then you attack for 6. So that's the same kind of play than with Blessing. Also, like what is important when you read it is that if they don't pay your next attack, so it works for Hammer. So and it can be, I mean, it works better for Anotos, this kind of card, but it can be with Winter. Oh, I forgot the name. The Ice Hammer. But anyway, this is I think one of the best Ice card. It blocked 2 though. It's not that bad. And like we will see later, we got some other spoilers that kind of tell us that it's actually okay if you have a blue card that block for 2 or that even don't block, because we have some very sweet resource sink in this set. We have a new Guardian Defense reaction, Elemental Guardian Defense reaction. It have Ice Fusion, so like I say, you need to have tons of Ice cards in an Ice deck. Other than that, it looks pretty bad. It's a defense reaction, so this is a yellow. The yellow costs 2 and block for 3. I'm assuming the red one block for 4. But like even like if you don't fuse, it costs 2 to block 4 for defense reaction. We are talking like unplayable card. Like really, that's really bad. So you need to fuse, which is it's much easier to fuse during your opponent turn because you have your full hand. Where when you attack, you might have to pitch, but you already need to pitch 1 card. So that's, I mean, it's not that bad, but I mean, best case scenario, if it's a red, it blocks for 4 and they have to discard a card, which typically make it for 7. So yeah, that might be playable, but like I think we have better option. It's not a nice card, so right now I'm just hunting for any ice card or earth card because I'm actually pretty excited about the earth card. Next, I mean, like yeah, like I said, like if we just compare with stunt reaction, this costs 2, also block for 5 for the blue one. Here the blue one will block just for 2. Even if they discard a card, 1 card is equal in average 3 damage. 4. I mean, best case 4, average 3. So best case this card block for 5 or 6. You compare to Pulse of Isenloft and you just laugh because Pulse is a blue that block for 6. But Staunch is still like a better card in most situation. So next, what do we have? Oh, Awakening. Alright, so we got this card also pretty recently. like, I think like 24 hours ago or something like that. And I got a lot of people excited. I still don't know what to think about it. I think that's a very good card. It's just like, it's a blue. I just want blue, you know. I'm a simple Guardian guy. But it doesn't block. And for me, like a card like Showtime, because everybody compared to Showtime, right? Showtime, I block with it or I pitch it 95% of time. I play it only if it's turn 1 or if I'm against a deck like Dorinthia and I want to finish them with a Crippling Crush or something like that. So, but it's a very niche. Like most of the time you just use it to pitch or to block because it have everything you want. It costs 3, so it trigger an autos, box 3, perfect. It's really a perfect card. Then you look at Awakening. It have, you know, it's a blue card, good. Cost 2, it's less good for the hammer, but can be more convenient. Earth Fusion. If you have less life than an opposing hero, create Seismic Surge tokens equal to the difference. If awakening was fused, instead create twice that many seismic tokens. So like if you are 5 life behind your opponent, if it's not fusion, you create 5 seismic. If it's fusion, you create 10. Search your deck for a Guardian attack action card with cost less than or equal to the number of seismic search tokens you control, reveal it, and put it into your hands and shuffle your deck. So that looks pretty sweet, because typically short time allow you to draw one more card the next turn. This is compensated by the fact that you create Seismic Surge. One of the really key difference, and that's kind of like the new, if you look at all those Guardian cards in Tales, I really see this pattern. Showtime is for the traditional, defensive Bravo deck. Awakening is kind of toward offensive. I would not say like aggressive, but it's much more offensive play. First, it doesn't block. Second, I don't really want to have less life than my opponent when I'm at Bravo. Like, I play Blessing, I play Sigil, I want to stay like over 30 as long as possible. So, it means like you are taking some damage to punishing back, to switch tempo, but Bravo is not a tempo deck. So, it's like it might either make Ice Guardian decks or Earth. I think Earth really, anyway, Earth is much more aggressive than Ice. All the Earth cards are pushing you more to attack, but even in a vacuum, if I can play this card without any Earth, I'm still happy. I think it's reasonable to be 5, something like 5 behind. And anyway, if you play Elemental Guardian, you will not have very, very expensive card. You don't have Crippling Crush or stuff like that. And 5, it means it gives you 5 resources. And it can be played as an instant at the end of their turn, which means you can still like you can decide. You can keep it and either pitch it to Alderheim or to some other shenanigan that I want to talk about, or you can just at the end of their turn you pitch, you play it. If you have 1 resource left, you can also use this resource to use your shield, and then you take what can you take? Let's say 5. You can know what you have in your hand, which in short time you don't, because you play short time and you wait for next turn. That's why like I don't really play short time usually. Also, it take an action, so it's very different card. But let's say you have an Earth and Ice card in your hand. Then you can take Oaken Hold. This, it's not only tempo, this is super powerful card, but you don't want to have too many, because it need to be really good, it need to have fusion with Earth and Ice, but then you can just play 1 and play 3 Awakening and just tutor when you want the right one. If you just have an Ice card, you can always take an Endless Winter. Okay, yeah, you need to be 4 life under, but you can plan, like the way you block and what you have in your hand, you can decide what you're gonna do. And you can always take a Spinal Crush. That's 5 damage, that costs 5. But, so you need to be 5 under, but in CC that's not that important. Blitz, I don't know what to think about Blitz right now. I just play Ira or Keno, so I don't care. But you know, just 3 or 4 is not that much of a big deal. When you see like how powerful those cards are, and you can really tell, like, oh, I have no ice card, I don't take Endless Winter, or I just don't use my Awakening, and I'm just gonna pitch it to either use ability of Oldheim or to use my hammer. So that's why I think at first I was like, this is too aggressive for my style, and then I'm thinking, well, actually, Oldham can be very defensive without blocking. Not only with his ability, uh, but we have some sweet card, some what I would say mana sink, and the best one is, I mean, not the best one, but one that just got spoiled, and that I think is mind blowing. It really doesn't match the art or the style of Oldham, but we don't care. Crown of Seed. This card, for me, is very insane. I'm not really a Ranger deck, so I'm not gonna, assess if it's good at with Ranger. But I just read that once per turn instant. You can activate your turn, their turn. That's sweet. It blocks 0. Usually cards that block 0, they are really good. Pay 1 resource. Put a face down card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Draw a card and prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn. If you just read it like that, it doesn't look that good. Like, if you think, okay, I will play that to change 1 card that I have in my arsenal. And this is not bad. I'm not saying, how many times, let's say you pitch, you want to pretend you have a defense reaction or whatever, or you have a card left, or you like put in your arsenal like a Spinal Crush on an aggressive card. Turn out the opponent is having a very huge turn, and you have to block, and you are losing all the tempo. You can't really use this Spinal Crush or whatever. Well, you pay 1 resource, so you pitch a card, but you still have 2 floating. Because you play blue, I mean, you are Guardian, you're not going to play something else. And you can get rid of the Spinal Crush that can't do anything, and you can draw a card and block with it. So just that effect, and I don't think that's why you should play it, but just that effect is kind of the God of War mod that allow you to block with a card from your arsenal. A second aspect of Crowd of Seeds is like, if you really have like a card you don't want in your arsenal, but you want to draw 1 more card. Like let's say you have 3 blue, you pitch 2 to your hammer, you inflict 6. Then you have 1 blue. What do you want to do? Like, you want to arsenal, like really like a blue that you don't care. Do you want to arsenal it, or do you just keep it because it's gonna be cumbersome? Better you arsenal it. You draw 4 cards, and then okay, you pitch 1, but you draw 1, and you free your arsenal slot, and you have 2 floating, and those floating are very useful. I don't know if you saw the first video I did about the spoiler, but I was talking about Rampart of the Ram's Head. This card doesn't look super exciting to me. Like, you pay 1 and it gains +1 defense. If people break the chain, yeah, of course it can add up and be good, but like as is, you have to pitch a card, and you're gonna pitch a blue because you play blue, and yeah, you have 2 floating, and you're just gonna lose them. So I was saying before, you need to have as many resource sink as possible, and I was hoping that we will get something like that. Here, when you pitch, let's say you pitch a yellow, you can block 1 from Rampart, 1 from Crown, and you draw a card. That looks pretty neat, and I'm gonna go even further. This card is even more amazing, because there is a secret mode, or however you want to call, that when you look at Oldheim effect, Oldheim activity say, you pitch 3, and if you have an ice card in your pitch zone, well, opponent discard a card. If you have an earth card, you prevent 2 damage. Okay, so let's say you have all blues, because that's how you should build your deck when you play Guardian. Okay, you pitch a blue ice. with with Oldheim. Well, they discard one card, so that's reduced maybe 3 damage. It's not all the time, you know, that depends against what. That's really when they go large. But let's say that prevent like 3 damage. If you discard a Earth card, that prevents 2 damage. But the beauty of Crown of Seeds, and a bit with Rampart too, is that you can pitch your first blue, whatever, either earth or ice. You pitch it to Crowd of Seeds and to Rampart. You have one floating. You recycle the card from your arsenal. You prevent 1 damage and you have 1 defense from Rampart. And then you pitch one more blue. Let's say you have ice. I'm talking like if you play both ice and earth. This become like amazing. But even if you don't, you can just pitch one and do something. But if you have both, so you pitch, let's say, the earth. You activate Crowd, you block 1 damage. Rampart, you block 1 damage. And then you pitch a blue for Oldheim. When Oldheim trigger, it look at the card in your pitch zone. You have both ice and earth. So it does both effects. It prevents 2 damage and it discard 1 card. So it means you use 2 cards from your hand. And the effect is you have 1 resource left. You prevented 3 damage in total, and we are not blocking, so we don't trigger reprise or anything like that, and it works against Kano, Runeblade, everything. So prevent 3 damage, recycle the card from your arsenal to a fresh card, and they have to discard a card. So in average, this means that this allows you to prevent at least 5 damage. You know, like 2 damage from the Crowd and the Rampart, and discarding a card is like 3 damage. So that's 5 damage. So you pitch 2 cards for 5 damage, and you still have, you drew a fresh card and you still have 1 left. And you do this all like kind of instant pit without as a defense reaction. So it really compared to like, if you think about it, if you pitch a blue to a red staunch is it's a red, it's 6. So if you let's say you play against Chain, you pitch a blue to red staunch, you're gonna block 1 for the arcane and 6, so you block 7 damage. Here you prevent 3 damage and they lose 1 card, so like that's 3 or 4 damage. So it's about the same, but it's like any card is okay as long as you have like ice and earth. I mean, you don't always have a staunch response in your arsenal. So I think this is amazing, and this means that you can play blues that don't block. You can have 2 blue like an earth and ice with no block. You're still gonna prevent like at least 4 damage for sure, and maybe 6, 7, 8 depending on what they want to do if they discard a card. So I'm super excited. There is one more card that got just spoiled, and I'm very excited about it too. It's Exposed to the Elements. So it's a Earth or Ice fusion, which, you know, it's good because if you play just Ice, it's good. If you have both, you know, kind of a hybrid deck, that's also good. I don't think I ever want to play an Earth Guardian deck, so I don't know. And this, it's a if Exposed to the Element was fused with an Earth card, put a -1 defense counter on target equipment. Not bad, I like it, but it's not so relevant, not so important. If Exposed to the Element was fused with an ice card, I like ice, like as you know. Destroy an equipment with 0 defense controlled by target hero unless they pay 2 resources, and that's an instant. This is super good because you can play it when they don't have resource, and like at the end of the turn, and that's still a blue anyway. So it's still a useful blue, except it is not ice, so blue she can't have everything. And the good thing is like there are quite a few cards that have 0. You can play it on Rampart of the Ram's Head, because if it's during their turn, they're not going to block. So you can destroy Rampart with that. You can destroy a Crowd of Seeds. You can destroy Shock Charmers. Not Reflection Bolter, sadly. You can destroy Snap with it. And no, I'm kidding. You can't destroy Kai on Husk. Even if you put -1, this card is still broken. We need to take care of it. But this is a card I really like. Maybe more as a sideboard card, but it's a blue. Like I said, blue are good, especially if those blue can help. Since we have Crowd of Seeds now on the Romper head, any blue will block you 2 damage. So like it gives you much more room for how you can build your deck. And yeah, that's all I had for this video. Sorry it was a bit longer than I expected. I got very excited about Guardian. I'm gonna make a short one about all the new Ruined Blade cards. I'm not that excited that it's Ruined Blade, and also like it doesn't look so like I don't know, it feels just more of the same. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe because we're almost at 100, and you know the more we have subscribers, the more we can do cool stuff. And thanks for watching. Bye.